Labour MP Liam Byrne, who is chair of Parliament's Business and Trade Committee. Liam Byrne, are we on a one-way road to nationalising British Steel?
I think we are, and I think that's probably the best solution. Right now, we don't really know what the parent company's accounts look like, but what we do know is that Jingye was not proving the right strategic long-term partner for this business and a critical bit of the British economic fabric. So I think what the government's done is given itself the power to get a grip of this situation. They're going to have to work through the accounts. Remember, we've not seen the parent company accounts since late 2021, so they're going to need to get a handle on that. But crucially, the government now gives itself options by giving itself the power to actually control and run the company until it knows what the right medium to long-term answer looks like.
But it will make taxpayers furious that they have to pay Jingye perhaps £700 million, which they turned into a loan in terms of the running costs of this plant. I mean, you know, to pay for the company and basically give them a massive windfall is going to be very annoying.
Well, look, remember the government had put a very generous offer on the table of about £500 million to invest in the company. At the moment, the company is losing about £230 million a year. So within the spending envelope the government's already set, there's a couple of years' worth of runway. At the moment, the company has net negative liabilities, about negative £250 million. So frankly, the company itself is not worth very much. But crucially, at a moment of real peril to the country's economic security. At the moment, we're stepping up the reconstruction of industry. At the moment, we're building houses. It would be a real error, I think, for us to lose the ability to make primary steel in this country. So, as I say, I think the government has done a sensible job at just sort of giving itself some room to manoeuvre now to save the blast furnaces for the future.
Kwasi Kwarteng. I mean, even Nigel Farage wants it renationalised.
Yeah, I can see that. Look, I've always been of the view that you have to have some steel-making capability in your country, because for defence reasons, for all sorts of reasons, you need that security of supply. And you mentioned I was Chancellor. I was also Business Secretary for nearly 2 years, and this was always something that came up within government. And as far as I was concerned as Business Secretary, we had to have domestic capability. Now,
so how did we get into this mess then? I mean, this is really a Tory mess, isn't it? It's happened, privatised it, and then you let it get into this.
I mean, you could say that, but it's happened across 30 years. And every other country, when we looked at this, every G7 country that produces steel in some way subsidizes it. So even if they don't own it through nationalisation, even if the state doesn't own it, they're giving subsidies to private businesses to run steel, because they all feel, the G7 countries, that they need to have a steel-making capability in their country.
But why wasn't it protected? With tariffs and just an instruction to buy British.
Well, one of the things we've done is actually, across all governments actually, is give money to steelmakers. If you look at Tata, if you look at Jingye, we've always given them support. And the issue that actually comes up again, which will come up for the government, are energy prices, because a lot of steel manufacturers on the continent have cheaper energy prices because, again, their governments support them by essentially giving them cheaper energy. And that's an issue that I think will come up again.
Liam Byrne, that is going to be the problem, isn't it? The argument is going to go to net zero, in terms of getting energy prices down.
Yeah, I agree with Kwasi about this. Ultimately, I think the way that this is going to unfold is the government is going to take the powers to run the business, control the business. That's going to help it get a handle on the finances, but it will also crucially do two things. It will give some security and confidence to customers of the company. Crucially, it also means that a Chinese-owned company doesn't have within its hands control of primary steelmaking in this country at a time when China is embarking on a full-scale trade war with the United States. So, we are able to kind of take control of our own economic destiny here. But in the medium to long term, I think the government's going to want to bring in a joint venture or other partner. In order to make that deal as attractive as possible, we're going to have to bring forward a package to bring down industrial energy costs in a big way. I don't think the Business Secretary is ready to do that yet, but I can absolutely be, I can be pretty confident that that is what we're going to see at some point over the next 12 months.
Kwasi, I mean,